Looks like just one rooftop. No, there's two up there.
I'll do a quick one. Okay, so you see people up here are moving out, right? And something's happening. It's probably a good idea.
Stay together.
Alright, so there you go. Now you can kind of see the size. I'll move quickly because I don't want to linger on it. Alright, so you see. You see people recoiling a little bit because the cops are moving forward. Oh shit.
Going down.
You can see they're ready to fire. They're ready to fire on the crowd. Okay, you see a huge group of cops coming in the back there. Huge group coming in the back. All right, moving back. Shield wall. So you got this umbrella wall. Look at the police. See them reinforcing behind.
Damn, that light is bright. Gas in front of.
got Snack Van right here. Let's see if the tires survive tonight. Ooh. Yeah, so we haven't seen anything. Yeah, you've seen, sorry. Just focusing right now.
I know.
Alright, there we go. Move back.
Pretty fast here, guys. I mean, short of straight up running.
Setting track. Lisa setting track.
Sorry, you got
That's a big ass truck.
Sorry, Matt.
No, that wasn't you.
Jesus. So bright.
I know, good music tonight, right?
Can somebody clip that?
Welcome, budding radicals and curious reactionaries.
My name is Anthony, and I am your host for the show where we talk about crazy radical stuff that scares your grandma. Not entirely, but, we're hypercritical of everything that we were taught to respect and hold dear and rely upon, like we're all seeing crumble all around us right now. I am flying solo today. All of us unemployment people had things actually come up for once. So it's just me here. So we're going to keep it moving. We've got some technical improvements today. I don't know if you noticed, but I got a little deep into OBS. And yeah, so let's look at some of these professional improvements. We have, look at that title bar. That is so if you want to email us at buddingradicals@gmail.com, you can absolutely do that. And just to remind you, my name is Anthony Fama, and I am your host. So, as we keep trolling along on this show, we're going to keep making the professionalism better and better, and speaking more clearly and better. And because what we aim to do with all of this is be a network for the things actually happening in your community that you can be a part of that will actually create change. You know, the radical people in our community here in Phoenix, we're also used to just doing things in our small little groups that, we don't know how to advertise because we have to be a little hush-hush about it. But it's time to collectivize all of our efforts, and that's what the show hopes to be. So let's get rolling right along with it and start off with our unemployment update. If you're unemployed, today's your day. No more $300. That's gone for no real reason. Other states are supposed to be getting it for $6. That is what the word I'm hearing is. If you're unemployed, you know how fucking confusing it is right now. Just to where can I find a job? And that pays me enough to pay my bills. And while I can't, what the fuck is happening? So one resource that I found online, and it's probably going to be, I don't remember the rules. It's a private group. But let's bring that up for you. Unemployed Action on Facebook is where I've been getting all of my reports on what's going on in other states, what's their unemployment situation looking like, and it's desperate and confusing. So they're starting to get, other states are finally starting to get their payments and their back pay. That's the good thing nationwide. But they're also running out of their state benefits, like many of us here are. If you haven't looked into that, and I haven't gotten so many pop-ups and fun things linked up for you today, because this is just new gear for me. So they're starting to get it, but they're having that same question that we are, what do I do with my state benefits? There's so many unanswered questions, so if you would like to help us be paying attention to the unemployment situation, email us at buddingradicals@gmail.com. We need more collective action. And I can't do all of this, I can be face guy. I can do a little bit of research on specific topics. I'm focusing on labor history and labor organizing, which we'll get to in the entertainment workers update. We need all hands on deck. We've got a pandemic. We have the Depression rolling in this tiny time scale. You know, it took 3 years for us to get to where we are now in the Great Depression. And yeah, we're there in 6 months. And we have the Spanish flu on top of it. So that's like all 10 years of fucking economic, historical, and cultural development in 6 months, guys. Like, so shit's gonna get fucking crazy. And we need all hands on deck. Everyone's got to pay attention and take care of each other. So we might as well move along with the I watch too much Richard Wolff. He does the economic update. If you want to watch that, I'll put a link to that in the comments afterwards. But if you're at all interested in like Marxist economics from like a very like academic and like this guy fucking knows his shit, like Richard Wolff. You know, I don't agree with everything he says because I'm an anarchist, and I don't know what his exact ideology is, but he's a pretty strict Marxist, and he's pretty like very hyper focused on the economic side of things. But you should definitely watch that. So for the entertainment workers update, we're seeing some movement with people planning things here in Arizona. We're having a case push on Tuesday in Tempe, the Tempe case push, Tempe Beach Park. It's an empty event showing people like, oh, there's events that are going to be empty. Look at all these empty events, these seats that aren't going to be there. But I'm going to move that away so I don't knock it as much. And then we're going to be dressed in our work clothes and marching from the Marquee to Tempe Beach Park. We're not allowed to park at the Marquee. We have to park somewhere around the Marquee. We're not allowed to park at Tempe Beach Park, so it's going to be a long day of walking, and it's not a protest. We're not gonna protest. We're not gonna protest. So it's a little step in the right direction. I'm not gonna bemoan them that too much. But yeah, like it's very specifically, it's not a protest. The state of Arizona, the city of Tempe is being very nice to us, letting us have our First Amendment rights. I'm not really sold on it. I'm going to support it. I'm not going to protest. But yeah, like we need to start organizing a lot more on our own, which was what I'm proposing with the Arizona Entertainment United. I don't know how to organize a union or a worker co-op, but I'm like really like reaching out to everyone I can in the state and out of the state, trying to figure this out. But I need people who are interested. When it's just me saying, hey, I want to figure it out, like they're like, all right, cool, get 12 people. So if you're part of the... Don't do that. This is why I usually have a guy doing this stuff. And we'll eventually have rehearsal. We'll do rehearsal time. Because I'm learning you can't waste people's time when you're organizing, because if you have them do empty actions, then it just empties the tank. I totally just lost my train of thought because, yeah, technical stuff. Yeah, so organizing on our own. If you're interested, if you're a musician, if you are a security worker, a bar worker, if you work in entertainment, send us an email at buddingradicals@gmail.com. We're going to have a Zoom meeting every Wednesday at 6:30. If you get on our email list, or send us an email. I'm figuring out all this deep organizational stuff and re-putting it together back from like when I was in a band and stuff. So if you're good at organizing email lists and things like that, email us at buddingradicals@gmail.com asking for a lot of help here, guys, because we need to build some kind of mutual aid network. This case push is nice. It's going to be a nice feeling day for us to get together again, get to like, hey, how you been holding up? Anyone going to have work anytime soon? But as far as like getting our needs met in the very near future, which is going to be a very big need for a lot of people, we need to like set up some kind of ground up network to get mutual aid out to people, which is what another main thing we'd like to do here with Budding Radicals. Since most of us are entertainment workers, is organize a mutual aid network based on this live streaming platform that we have. This is the only thing we have available to us. So if we have these live art, if we can do a monthly or bi-weekly telethon, like an old-timey telethon, you know, where like I just with OBS, the amount of stupid zany stuff we can do is pretty stupid. So we need to just band together and figure out there's places we can go to help us organize this union and this worker co-op. I should have written down to talk more about the worker co-op, the Democracy at Work group I'm a part of, but it's actual like financial people that understand the benefit of cooperative enterprise, whereas it's not just scrappy anarchists putting together our little art and theater co-ops and just making it work. There's actual serious people involved in doing this stuff, and right now their big focus is the Arizona Berry Cooperative. I'll be giving more information about that in the next week. We're moving forward on that. If you're interested in, if you own property and have 100 square feet that you can devote to a greenhouse with strawberries, buddingradicals@gmail.com. So the purpose of the first purpose of these Zoom meetings is going to be to start figuring out what our needs are. Who has need? What are your needs? Is it just food insecurity? Is it your bills, your electric bill, your insurance, your rent? Can we exactly legally put together a direct money transfer? Who knows? We're going to do it until they fucking yell at us. But we've got some law people and financial people kind of giving us some advice. So email us so we can give you the link for the Zoom meeting. Let's start seeing what we all can do to organize this. What I'm doing right now is I'm studying parliamentary procedure because I'm an anarchist and I believe in direct democracy. What that means is I want a union that's not where we vote for leadership and then they go have the debates and then they negotiate for us. I want a union that's based from the ground up of the workers that it represents. Where, yes, we have delegations and assemblies and we elect representatives, but they just deliver the vote for us. They just go to the big room in the big conference and say, hey, this is what all our people talked about. This is the way we're voting. And we can, even have our negotiation, all right, if then what? And set our different, all right, we're willing to negotiate on this before we go in if it comes to these different. I'm reading Robert's Rules of Order, which is the tome on parliamentary procedure. And he was Sir Robert Johnson. I'm just getting into it. My brain's still Joe Biden-y from all of the trauma I've been through over the last 6 months. But there's ways to do order and organization without a strict hierarchical leadership, and that's what I want to focus on. How do we organize ourselves based on our collective needs? So that's the first order of business. So yeah, sign up for those Zoom meetings. Send us an email, buddingradicals@gmail.com, so we can start putting something together. And if you are interested, empty case push. It's a good thing. Support it. It's not gonna do anything, but what are you gonna do? So final note on organizing. One thing we can really reach out to once we have some people on board willing to do this is the international workers of the world, the Wobblies. Let me talk about them a little bit. So the Wobblies go back to 1905 and the Socialist and Anarchist Union organizing. That kind of ground up. They're not going to tell us how to do it. They're going to basically give us the support once we have, 30 people willing to pay dues, and do the organizing. Then they can actually see what we're trying to do and help lead us in that direction. Look up the International Workers of the World. They were very pivotal in the labor strikes and struggles of the 20s and 30s. They played a big role in getting us most of the labor rights that we cherish today. 8-hour workday, child labor laws, the New Deal. They focus on unskilled labor. That's all of the main trade unions are all the high skilled, workers. The lowest skilled person they're going to unionize is a truck driver. And that requires a lot of skill. I don't know if you ever tried driving something more than 20 feet long. It sucks, and backing up is terrifying. Stagehands can make fun of me all you want. The electricians made fun of me. I have great vision deficiencies. So, length, not my greatest forte. I'm going to check some... No, that's not anyone telling me that something's wrong. So we just don't have anybody watching because I'm by myself, and that's not anywhere near as entertaining. But the point is still doing it. Even when it's not going well, you still got to put on the show. But yeah, so International Workers of the World. Look them up. There's someone that we can reach out to for help in organizing this stuff. I am going to take a quick break, and we'll be right back. All right, we're back. We are back. All right. So it's probably going to be a shorter show today. Much shorter show today. For sure. I spent all my energy putting an entirely new show set together and improving the quality and didn't at all prepare for a solo show. So the amount of detail that I could have put into it now that I now can put into it. Let me show this off real quick. This, if you're at all interested in streaming, is a Stream Deck. And you can get it from like $160 from Best Buy. I'm not going to suggest you try and get it from Amazon because they lost it. Yeah, it took them like 2 weeks to send it to me, and then it just didn't come, and then they gave me a refund, and then I just ended up picking it up from Best Buy. But yeah, these are all just purely, completely programmable buttons, and they're, like if you can see while I drop it, yeah, they're all LEDs. So yeah, everything is very well labeled, and I just completely boned things up. But yeah, and there's like so many like options on like programs that can control. So great resource if you're at all interested in streaming or any other kind of computer application. It's if I ever get back to doing lighting work again, this pairs up with my lighting software. If you have recording software, any functions, you can program it to that. So many pieces of software. So that's going to be my plug for the day. My capitalist plug, Stream Deck by Elgato. Elgato, yes. Elgato, the cat. It's not 2 words. It's 1 word. But Elgato Stream Deck. You don't have to give me money because I gave you Trump bucks. But, yeah. So, Ruth Bader Ginsburg died. That's fucking terrible. I'm not going to say that's not fucking terrible. That's basically the worst case scenario for liberal America, or anyone who wants rights. The fact that there's just a fucking judge up for grabs right now. But it is also a great fucking chance for the Democrats to either step up or like fucking fall on their face. So you'll see what kind of party they really are if they don't really put up a fight. If Trump and crew tries to put through a judge as fast as they fucking humanly possible, like they're already like, it's gonna be a woman judge. We're gonna make it a lady. Hey. You guys like ladies, we know that works. And they could just very well find someone that conservative Democrats are okay with. And they might just ram someone through. Like, how are you going to feel about that? Like, are you going to be okay voting for Joe Biden? You know, like, is that going to be a thing that works for you? Like, if they don't do anything to alleviate the judge situation, then like you guys can't yell at me for not voting Democrat. That's feet in the street time. Like, you guys gotta like put up or shut the fuck up, and revolution time. And you know, it's not like, you have to understand that like Ruth was like really great on some things. You know, having like enough people there to keep the courts from getting too out of balance was good, but she was kind of deplorable on some things. Like, she called the Colin Kaepernick protest ignorant and stupid. You know, she was pretty conservative in a lot of respects, but, you know, she protected women's rights, and so now everyone's going to put all of the onus on women's rights on Ruth Bader Ginsburg. That's what bothers me. It bothers me when all of a sudden I'm seeing all of these posts where people are saying, not just in effect, but literally, word for word, you owe all of these rights to Ruth Bader Ginsburg. No. You owe those rights to a lot of people. A lot of radical people, especially, who never get any of the credit for starting the conversation and, really getting the shit kicked out of us early on. But as instrumental as Ruth Bader Ginsburg was to protecting a certain amount of marginalized people, which was good and worthwhile, she shouldn't be vaulted up that high. That just does a disservice to all of the people, like some people who literally sacrifice their lives for these rights. In the smaller and less heard of struggles, that if you don't study labor history, like read Howard Zinn, People's History of America. That's just one book, and he had to read a shit ton of other books about labor history, so library time. I gotta figure out what's going on with the library and learn how to read again, because my ADHD bipolar brain is having a real hard time reading. But we can't use these disasters to just rush into something like Joe Biden. Look at him. Hey, Joe. Do you really know what's going on? Do you really care? No, he really likes his Corvette. He's and I'm going to actually sit down and watch the town hall. I'll give people a lot of things, like I have not been like fucking paying attention to all of the liberal bullshit like a hawk this year. I got tired of it. I got tired of watching all the same fucking speeches over and over again, that they say a couple of the nice things every now and then, but then it's all of these fucking stories about other people and their problems. Granted, they give a voice to some of the underprivileged, but it never just winds back up to what it's going to mean. There's a reason that Bernie Sanders did so well despite being a socialist. Like, imagine someone like Ed Markey going like big. He's a liberal that got the messaging right, on how to, like, he's always been pretty conservative too. Like, not like really conservative like Susan Collins will accept you. You're a Republican, but like, whatever. He's been no friend to progressive causes, or especially liberation causes. Let's like reframe like radicalism as liberation ideology. And as an anarchist, I want to liberate fucking everyone. And I don't want to fucking stop until we're fucking done. Until no one's being abused by an arbitrary, and not just like, I don't want anyone to be abused anymore, first and foremost. In the book that me and Gren are going to be writing on the philosophical aspects of anarchism, I'll go through my like process of trauma and how it radicalized me. But, it's liberation. Liberation ideologies. Compared to reformist ideologies. Hey, Taco. Are you getting ready to get on TV? And so someone like Joe Biden is not a progressive. He has none of the messaging. And same thing like Mark Kelly. Like, if I have to dig on a website or like really look for speeches, like if everything doesn't wind up to what am I gonna do, the sales pitch is bunk. We don't have to look at politics like it's any different than buying any other product. And like a medical ad, if they don't tell you what it cures, it's because the side effects are too bad to mention on TV. That's a law. If you want to advertise, because you used to not be able to advertise drugs on TV. I don't know, some of you might be old enough to remember that. The explosion of antidepressant ads on TV. But yeah, like, and there's a very distinct law that if you don't want to advertise the side effects, then you can't advertise what the drug solves. You know, what disease is it for? I don't know. Hey, here's this drug. It does a thing. Ask your doctor about it. You know, they can. I think they list symptoms. You know, list if you're feeling like this. But Joe Biden is that drug. He's a placebo. You know, if you look at his actual history, if you look at the things he's been instrumental in, the crime bill. The 1994 crime bill that put like fucking thousands upon thousands of people of color in jail. Many innocent. Many stuck in private prisons. The private prison industry. You know, I'll do a longer fucking thing where I actually like click on and off like a whole bunch of bullet points and information to show you all of this, and not just, hey, go look it up. It's easy for you to Google if you just go past page 2 or 3. But you know, like the Patriot Act, he brags about like how he was instrumental in writing the Patriot Act, like all the fucking mass surveillance state that everyone complains about. You're all like really up in arms about the social dilemma and the surveillance capitalism. You know, that's a big thing in that documentary. You focus on the surveillance part, but not the capitalism part. That Joe Biden was really instrumental through all of his banking friends and Comcast buddies in building that network through the Patriot Act and vis-a-vis the crime bill, you know, which led to private prisons. And let's not even forget the drug war. How much of a vocal accelerator of the drug war. Every step of the way, he was like, we need to use more force and we need to give the government more power to use violence against people. He's an authoritarian. Like all of these, how he wants to shoot people in the knees instead of, you know, like someone who's not an authoritarian and wouldn't coerce to the Tom Cottons of the Republican Party, the actual respectable, logical sounding ones. You know, Hitler's just like the fucking like door opening for the ideas. The door's been open. Like fascism has been in our government since Project Paperclip. Do you think fucking Marvel movies are just made up out of nowhere? Fucking Hydra in our government? Project Paperclip? So that's why it's not like about like throwing a hissy fit, like, oh, Bernie didn't get my way, so like I'm not gonna vote this time. It's because the acceleration of authoritarianism between both parties is too fucking great to ignore. I agree. Joe Biden would be better than Donald Trump if we actually held Joe Biden accountable for anything. If there was a mass movement of people, not just the fucking black bloc anarchists and Marxists of BLM, maintaining a street presence and making demands, and expecting politicians to follow through with them and not just fucking paint on the sidewalk. What do you think Joe Biden is actually going to do? He's going to make that stupid fucking face while authoritarians just authoritarian across the fucking country. Kamala Harris was a fucking, like, she was the overseer for all of the bad police of San Francisco. She enabled them. She kept a man in prison while he was innocent because it would make her look bad before re-election. And by next week, I'll have all these articles fucking popping up for you to see. So you're not just like, oh, Anthony's just fucking angry like Jimmy Dory and like, oh. You know, like, you can watch Jimmy Dory. Like, he has the information too. All of this information, it's just inconvenient for you. You know, just because it's inconvenient doesn't mean it's not true. So, when you guys start doing things and being active and not just donating money to organizations that only use 20% of it to actually help people, maybe they don't fucking give a shit. All right. Well, I'm going to take a short break and think if there's anything else. I don't see any comments. It doesn't really look to be anything people are addressing. So, yeah, let's just call that break time. We'll be all right. So we're going to call that for the end of the show. We're going to leave on action notes, as any kind of meeting should. My action notes for this week are to work on finding... well, basically, I have to research the Barry Collective. I have to look up the selling points. I have to talk to them about what they actually need help with. What we're doing in the Democracy at Work group through Marco, which I'll remember what that acronym stands for later. But we're looking for environmental groups that are working in the area, not like fucking super radical ones, but like, you know, people on the up and up. So if you're an environmentalist, email us at buddingradicals@gmail.com and let us know what groups we should look at in the area. I'm going to be putting together this week a package of information about the Barry Collective and how we can grow it and support it further. We can also go to the Case Push if you're an entertainment worker, or if you just want to support, just go there and take pictures and use the "Wish I Was There" hashtags. Fucking mask up, be there. Tempe Beach Park, from 11 a.m. to 8 p.m. is the empty event. We're doing the case push at some time. Look up the international workers of the world. Start doing some labor history research. We all have to become experts. Like, look back at the AIDS crisis and how that actually had to get solved. It was through citizen scientists, people actually looking through the data and correlating it, and then doing fucking peer review and proper scientific stuff. So look up your labor history and how to organize, and email us at buddingradicals@gmail.com so you can get that information on the Arizona Entertainment United Zoom meetings every Wednesday at 6:30 p.m. So we can figure out what people need. If you need something, email us. If you can help with something, email us. And our final, if you're an entertainer, let's start thinking about how we can put together a big telethon, because people are going to, in the next 2 months, there's going to be a lot of the people that you depend on in the bigger scene and in the smaller scene, photographers, graphic designers, and just people who depend on the extra income from cover bands. Those people are going to need bills paid. We can't all no one's going to give us a handout. It's getting really clear that they don't want to do any work to keep the economy actually going, because they have their nut. So it's up to us, guys. We cannot trust Joe Biden. He's not going to do anything. He's going to give us that look. And let the conservatives do what conservatives do on the Democrat and Republican side. So it's feet in the street. It's time to organize. And you don't have to do it our way. You don't have to do it the communist way. But we have to do more than just vote. We have to do more than just donate to organizations that are just rich people doing rich people things, which is mostly throwing parties so they can make more donations, which just pays for the parties. Trust me, I've worked enough of those events. I know the bills. I know how much they pay for stuff and how much they throw away on stuff they don't even use. Poor people have to unite. All of the working people of America. So, thank you guys for hanging out and watching today. We're going to be doing more streams through the week, some protest watching, and commentary, and then more detailed reports and videos. Chunkable, more thoughtful. Hey, I actually wrote this out stuff. The live streams are loose. They're meant to be informative once we have people coming in to watch. So if you are a radical organization, if you are doing a mutual aid network, if you need things, if you need help, if you just need a place to share your videos, email us at buddingradicals@gmail.com. We would love to interview you about what you do. And make sure all of you guys watching like, share, subscribe, get notifications when we go live, all of those fun, fancy things that we're supposed to do to sell ourselves to the algorithm. Make sure you comment, algorithm. And algorithm, have a good day. I will see you guys during the...
We can't bust heads like we used to, but we have our ways. One trick is to tell them stories that don't go anywhere. Like the time I caught the ferry over to Shelbyville, I needed a new heel for my shoe. So, I decided to go to Morganville, which is what they called Shelbyville in those days. So I tied an onion to my belt, which was the style at the time. Now, to take the ferry cost a nickel, and in those days, nickels had pictures of bumblebees on them. Give me 5 B's for a quarter, you'd say. Now, where were we? Oh, yeah. The important thing was that I had an onion on my belt, which was the style at the time. They didn't have white onions because of the war. The only thing you could get was those big yellow ones. We can't bust heads like we used to, but we